July 24th to 26th, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Yes, a very good morning to you all. Today is the 3rd of July 2025 and the year is fast running, but it's a great day. It's a great day. We're going to look at the political party evolution in Nigeria. Listen, sometimes it's important to ask yourself where you're coming from, where you are, so that you can project where you need to be. So in order to find where we're going, we need to look where we're coming from and where we are, then we can project the future. That's what we're going to do on the studio today. The studio is ready. I'm Daddy Chris. You know what? I have a senior Chris in the house, meaning I have somebody more knowledgeable, more powerful to talk us through Nigerian evolution till date. And perhaps he's going to help us project a future where we should be going. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to quickly bring them in. Asaba is more than ready for me this morning. Good morning, Senior Chris and Engineer Mishak.
Yes, a very good morning to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're excited, and I'm very, very excited to be on the platform with you. I know Engineer Mashak will take control of this day, but I'm just going to be wondering, sir. I want you to take your time to just tell us who you are. We need to know this elder. See, when they see me, they call me Daddy Chris, but this is Senior Chris in the house. For those of you that doesn't know, we have Senior Chris in the house, so better listen.
Very much indeed.
Yes, sir.
My name is Christopher Okafor Jose. I'm a sociologist by training,
Wow.
an education administrator, and civil rights activist. Retired now, mentoring young activists. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We're coming. In fact, you know the good thing? We'll be bringing all the young activists to hear from mentoring because they need to know what they're doing. They need to know. You understand? And sir, I know you from where you're coming from. Talk us a little bit through the Nigerian political party evolution today. What has been your experience? Yes, sir.
Not getting it.
The network. What's happening to the network?
I can hear you. We can hear you. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, what's your question?
Okay, my question was,
repeat, please.
Yes, I said, could you talk us through the political party evolution till date? Where we're coming from? How did it all started? Was it beautiful? Where are we now?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm happy that you have chosen this topic because a lot of the younger generation, they see what is happening today. Did you know that it had a beginning? Everything that you see, it has a beginning. And the first political party in Nigeria was formed as far back as 1922 by Herbert Macaulay. And the first election was held in three parts of Nigeria: Calabar, Lagos, and Lagos. And the qualification was just as if you're a British citizen. You must be paying tax of a particular amount before you are qualified to contest the election at that time. Now, fast forward to the formation of more political parties, the Nigerian Youth Movement, and so on. Then fast forward to the formation of bigger political parties, such as the National Convention of Nigerian Citizens, which was formerly National Convention of Nigeria and Cameroon, the Action Group, the Northern People's Congress, the Northern Element Progressive Union, the United Middle Belt Congress. These parties were formed to address particular issues as the
If you're just
Congress,
joining us,
the Northern People's Congress evolved from what was then the Jamia Mutenem Arewa, which was formed to protect the interests of the emirs of northern Nigeria. It was thoroughly feudal. The NCNC was first formed as a union of groups. Membership was by group and not by individuals. It was later that the constitution was amended to include individuals. And it was led by first Haba and later by Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. And then the other major party was the Action Group, which was formed in March 1953 at Owo. It was the more radical, the more socialist oriented of all these parties. It was based on analysis of the society. Nigerian society at that time was becoming increasingly class oriented. And the Action Group felt that it represented the interest of the underprivileged masses, while the NPC represented the interest of the feudal class. The NCNC was more liberal in the middle of the center. And the NEPO was particularly formed, Northern Elements Progressive. It was a breakaway from the NPC to confront the feudal authoritarianism of the northern ruling class. So that was the beginning until independence election in 1959. And the major parties that contested that election were the NPC, the NCNC, the Action Group, and those were the three major parties. Then there were, in 1959, there were individual parties that, there was no registration as we have today, whereby they will say unless a particular body registered a party, the party will not contest election. There were political parties that were based on ethnic groups. For instance, Ibadan People's Party and Borno People's Party. There were other smaller parties like that, and they eventually affiliated with the bigger parties. That was the beginning of political parties in Nigeria. And I may add that the first political parties that we had in Nigeria, they were more ideologically oriented. They had focus, and they were built to serve particular social classes in the country. It's unlike now, where it appears that the political parties don't seem to have a particular orientation to action or to be based on an analysis of the society as they found it at that time. So let's start from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. In fact, this is exactly what we want. What we should. In fact, anybody watching this show, please pick your pen and write. You see, Senior Chris was able to identify even with dates. I don't understand where this brain is. This brain you see here, we need to keep it. I don't know how we're going to preserve it. Anyway, sir, one thing you said that is really lacking today is the ideology of the political parties. We're going to go back and front on this matter today. So, because from the past we draw on the present. How come that I don't understand what the APC stand for, what the PDP stand for? Labour Party, I can almost identify their Labour Party. The rest, I don't understand what is their political party. How can we run a society with multiple political parties with no ideology? Is that what you see, or maybe it's just me, sir?
Thank you very much. The present political parties, particularly maybe the PDP, the APC, they represent a continual degeneration in all aspects of the Nigerian society. The degeneration of the political system is only one aspect of the degeneration of the Nigerian society as a whole, in all material respects. The educational sector, the industrial sector, the religion. When I say religion, I don't mean church. I mean the orientation, the worldview of the society. It's total breakdown. At that time, for instance, I joined politics in 1979. And the Unity Party of Nigeria, which I joined, because when the military took over the civilian government, overthrew the civilian government on 15 January 1966,
Write
party
it down.
politics was banned. Party politics was banned for about 13 years until the Passenger administration handed over to a civilian administration on October 1979. And immediately the ban on party politics was lifted in 1978, September, I think I remember. Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who was the leader of the action group, of the UPN, announced his presence on the scene. And the UPN was a reincarnation
Of the action group.
or revival of the old action group. But this time around, the 13th point, because when Awolowo arrived at the political scene in 1953 and launched his party out of war, he analyzed the Nigerian society with his group, with his members. And like I told you, it was socialist oriented. And the analysis of the Nigerian society was this: as an ex-colonial, underdeveloped, black country in the world, what does Nigeria need to meet up with the developed countries of the world? And the analysis was that number one, Nigeria needs freedom from backwardness. Freedom from ignorance. That is, they need intellectual empowerment. Freedom from want. Nigeria needs economic enablement. Freedom from disease. Nigeria needs a healthy community. And this was the foundation of the ideology of the party. And the only ideological, because when we talk of ideology, we are talking of how do you distribute state resources. The feudalists and the conservatives believe that the state resources either is a survival of the fittest, or the winner takes all, or it is reserved to serve a particular class. But the socialist-oriented democratic socialism of the Action Group and UPN believe that resources of the state should be deployed, first and foremost, to develop and bring up the human resources. We believe that the first duty of the government is to develop the human beings, the human capacity to develop the environment. The other people start from the other way around. For instance, you see somebody saying, I want to build roads, I want to build the INEC headquarters, whereas the human capacity to conduct free and fair elections is not there. So this is the kind of parties we had at that time. So if you look at what is happening today, the breaking point was the military rule. And after military rule in 1979, and the return of UPN, NPN, NPP, which were reincarnation of the old parties of the First Republic. But things got increasingly worse with the second stanza of military rule. And if you want to know how military rule influenced the type of people that inherited power in 1999, please, all the youths who are listening to me, go and read Chief Yagodo Clark, Why I Am After Uduaghan.
Right. Say that again, sir.
Why I am after Uduaghan. Because series of rigging of elections. Rigging. And Edwin Yagodo Clark, based on his political and social stature and his historical experience, was able to tell us how the people that started governing Delta State, their links with the Apache regime, their links to the military, and how it happened that the type of people that we had from 1999 were not really politicians. They were stooges of the military. And that's the beginning of the problem we have today. They were stooges of the military, and this is not to underrate anybody.
Yes.
President Olusegun Obasanjo was a stooge of the military.
He was.
He was nominated by.
Yes.
He was nominated and sponsored by the military. And if you want to know how the military rigged the election for General Obasanjo in 1999, of the Carter Center, former President Jimmy Carter of the United States visited Nigeria with his group, and they were in most of the polling groups, polling units. They will tell you that you can't bribe Jimmy Carter now, former President of the United States.
You can't bribe him.
In a place where you have 500 registered voters, 50 people will vote. The vote will go very well, everything clean, you won't see any problem. At the end, you will have 499 over 500. They rigged the election.
Of course.
Just like what Professor Yakubu did the other time. It's a tragedy.
It is.
That was the go and read Why I'm After Oduala by Edwin Clark. You
Wonderful.
find the genesis of our problem, which started with military mentality.
Okay. I will only ask this because I'm sure the rest of the team have a lot to ask. So I'm gonna, Prof, are you with me? I know the network in Asaba is a little bit of a challenge, and I need to leave the studio, but I will be here for the next 2 minutes. I wanted to ask Prof one thing, the June 12th. Prof, I don't know whether you can hear me. If Prof can hear me, I will be interested in talking about the June 12th, because that for me, that was, what I was crying is about June 12th, is exactly what Prof was telling us now. As at June 12th, I mean, that Second Republic, which brought in the NRC and the yes, it's NRC and the one that Abiola won. It was a clear party with clear ideologies. The two political parties were known. And like Prof said, this is what I keep educating people on this show. See, you need to listen to Prof, not to me today. This is Senior Chris on the platform. I wish they come back on time quickly to come and take up the show, because I'm only supposed to be here for a few minutes and now I'm going to take over this show. That's not fair. But what is interesting is, as at the time, we now have the NRC and the SDP, Social Democratic Party, which brought Abiola in. All the elements, you see, then there was still that understanding that political parties need to have ideologies. And that is what happened. I think it was the time of the Shoneko when they now come up with the new dispensation you guys find yourself now. That is where we get it completely lost. Of course, it was now, I think we went back to the olden days where it was just about interest. Not about ideology, but about a group coming together just trying to win a political party. And that is still what the challenge we have today. Listen, I'm going to go on a break, and I'll keep going on a break until my people is able to join the show and take it from here. Let's go on a break. Don't go, we'll stay with us. Don't forget, we are with Senior Chris today. And you know the network is always fluctuating in Nigeria. Unfortunately, I'm here for a few minutes, and I think we've done a lot. But this is a man you need to listen to. The knowledge is there, and it's talking precisely with it. Exactly how it's supposed to be. Let's go on a break. Let's go on a quick break. I'll come back because you guys been away. Let's go on a quick break. When you come back, you continue.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. It's coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Yes, it's good to be back again in the studio. And of course, if you're just joining us, it's Arise and Shine on SRTV. And of course, we're live here in the Asaba studios. We have with us here Chris Biose, a senior citizen. We call him Senior Chris on SRTV. And he's been taking us through a trajectory of political evolution, political party evolution in Nigeria. So, I mean, before we went on the short break, you were putting us through some very important information relating to what has been happening in a political space. So I mean,
thank you very much. I want to say that what we are seeing at the national scene today, being perpetrated by the APC, was started by the PDP. It's just that PDP, I mean, APC has taken it to the most devilish, well, pardon me, if I don't want to use negative, terrible words, to bizarre heights. All the negative factors that are taking place in Nigerian politics. And I was giving you an example of what I discovered in 2003. Number one, I found that INEC, in collaboration with the PDP, had what we call phantom polling units. Polling units that existed on paper, but did not exist in reality.
Yeah.
And they bring results at the end of the day. They have what we call ghost voters on the register. Ghost voters, that is, you have hundreds of thousands of voters, their names are there, but they are not human beings.
And
on election day, they will good. How do they do it? They will supply ballot papers to their people and they will thumbprint. And they call it election. Now, this thing we are seeing about the campaign, let me tell you how it started in Delta State. I wrote an article on it in 2003, I think in January. You can find it in Guardian. In Vanguard. The title is Nomination Blues in Delta State. This was a situation where the PDP pretended to be embracing other political parties and making friends with them. What did they do? They called the chairman of other political parties and said, we want to support you, and started with 5 million naira each. 5 million was more valuable at that time than it is today. Yeah. 5 million to the political parties, AD. I was a member of the AD, Alliance for Democracy. Do you know that PDP nominated candidates of other parties in Delta State?
Of course.
The PDP nominated the candidate of AD. And when Chief Great Ogboru wanted to join the Alliance for Democracy in 2003, I would like to call names. One of the leaders, they wanted to do the ceremony at Petroleum Training Institute in Warri. Efru. And after the Alliance for Democracy has scheduled it, PDP suddenly changed, and so that is the place they want to do their own. And there was a crisis. Many people were killed. Some students were killed. If you Google it, you will see it online. What APC is doing today, they have just elevated what PDP started. And the election that was held in 2004, it was not an election. In my newspaper at that time, called Anyoma Voice, the headline was, Uduaghan wins before he wins.
Vote counting.
No, yes, before collation of results. And this was, don't take my word for it. Go and find out, go and refer to the judgment of Great Ovejo Ogboru and another versus, that was 2007 anyway. 2007, Great Ovejo Ogboru versus Dr. Emmanuel Uduaghan and others. Judgment of the Court of Appeal delivered by Honorable Justice Dongban Mense. What was the judgment? The court established that there was no voting in Delta State in 2007. No voting. INEC merely generated results, and I'm quoting the judgment. INEC merely generated results and announced it. I'm telling you that they have been improving on this fraud over the years. And they have corrupted a generation of young people who are not aware of what is happening. And young people are thinking now this is the meaning of politics.
Exactly.
This is not the meaning of politics.
Exactly.
In 1979, when we joined politics, we had our 4 cardinal programs. What are we going to do for them? How are we going to uplift the society? I think it was the British polymath, Bertrand Russell, that the politics is intended to bring the greatest good to the greatest, Bertrand Russell, the greatest good to the greatest number of people. Jeremy Bentham, the greatest good to the greatest number of people, or the greatest happiness to the greatest number of people. It is not to seize the resources of the people. And remember what happened, in particular in Delta State. When politics started in Delta State in what is it called? Delta State was created.
1991. Precisely.
And then 1999 politics. The oil was selling at, I think, $12 per barrel. Now, when Obasanjo started paying 13% derivation to states in January 2000, by 2003, the value of oil had risen to $60 per barrel. This means that the amount of money available to the political class was such that they were so desperate they didn't want to lose the control of the money. Exactly. The objective of politics was no longer how to serve the people, but to how to grab the money. This is the position right now. Nobody is thinking of how to serve the people, but how to grab the money. This is the genesis of the problem we're having. It has, in fact, every subsequent election has been worse than the one preceding it. I think it was in 2011, the Electoral Reform Committee, Honorable Justice Uwais, that the 2007 election was, quote and unquote, the worst, quote and unquote. Go and check it on it. The worst since the election started in 2003, 2007. But now we have seen that even with, look, people are no longer human beings. We've lost what it means to be a human being. Imagine a professor who used to respect telling lies
in front of the world.
In front of the world. You now tell the whole world the rules that you have made. You made the rules as chairman of INEC that results will be, transmitted electronically, online. Live.
As you are voting.
Yes, as you went to UK to say, you said it several times. You wrote it down.
And that made Nigerians believe that it was going to happen.
Many young people believed.
And they came out to vote.
They came out to vote. Then the last minute, you now said you don't do it. There was a glitch without providing evidence. And then the judiciary said that the rules that were made by the INEC were not in the constitution. Therefore, the rules are not binding. That means your voice.
The judiciary was there when INEC made the rules. And that means, that means
that rules have no meaning.
Have no meaning. And the institution cannot make its own rules.
Look, in traditional time, we don't need to write anything. The word of a man is his bond. There's what we call pacta sunt servanda. That is, that rules must be obeyed. Now, then is the French sociologist Emile Durkheim. There's what he called the non-contractual element of the contract. The non-contractual element of the contract is the moral commitment to obey rules. Now, there's no moral commitment to the spirit of democracy. You can exploit it. You can do whatever you like. We lack commitment to the principles of democracy and to the values of democracy.
That's quite unfortunate.
The values have broken down. And it will require revolutionary changes.
Now, talking about the breaking down of the value, because we have a value system that is so much regrettable political value system is so much regretted.
It's not only political.
Yes,
Can you imagine a university lecturer collecting bribe
to announce
or collecting, making love with girl in order to
be
man?
great?
Can you, everything has broken down.
The society, morality has been thrown to the dog.
Can you imagine the idea of the civil service
Has been lost.
which is supposed to be to provide the working machinery of the state, collaborating
With the political class.
because if the civil service is straightforward, these things can't happen.
It can happen.
It is impossible for you to rig elections because it's the public service that provides the machinery.
Yes.
But water corruption in Nigeria.
It is the truth. We are not far from the truth. But quite unfortunate, but I think it's something that's so painful, because when you look at the political evolution from what you have spoken from 1920 to the first formed political party by Herbert Macaulay, to the political parties of the 50s and our constitution. Now let's come back. Let's go back to history. Let's look at the constitutions, the Milverton Constitution, the Macpherson Constitution, and of course, and the 19. What were the differences in those constitutions of the pre-independence that gave strength and gave capacity to the political parties then, and to governance, and to the kind of constitution now that we have, and the failure of the constitution to impact on the people in governance, especially the 1999 constitution? Everybody's picking holes in that constitution.
Now, when you talk of the constitution that before the 1960,
before independence,
the Constitution of the Federation, 1960, that's the proper title.
Okay.
All the constitutions that came before it were just made in the presence of the evolution of the Nigerian state.
Okay.
That is, how do you build a country? What would Nigeria look like at independence? That's what those constitutions
were all about.
Okay. And the last constitutional conference before independence settled for federalism.
True federalism.
A federation is autonomous states coming together to form a federal government. And each of these states have their own allocated powers. None of the states is superior to the other. None of them derives its powers from the other. Although each of them derives its powers from the Constitution. That's the concept of a federation. And in 1960, each of these federating states, the northern region, the western region, and the eastern region, and when the Midwestern region was created in August 1963, each of these four regions had its own constitution.
Separate.
The constitution of the Western region 1960, the constitution of the Northern region 1960, the constitution of Midwestern state 1960, and so on. There was separation of powers. In addition to that, in 1960, the revenue allocation was 50-30-20. 50% to the state or region of derivation, 30% to the distributable pool, and 20% to the federal government. The redistributable pool is to be distributed among all the states, including the states from which it is derived. Military rule abrogated it and laid foundation for unitarism. So what we're having is like a unitary state. And the 1999 constitution that we all refer to is actually a military decree, known as Decree 24. Because what is relevant to making of a constitution is not the title, calling it constitution. It is the process of making the constitution. The people must come together and say, this is what we want. Or if it has been made by others, the people will come together through a referendum or a plebiscite to accept. After the military wrote that document and signed it on 5th, just a week or two before the inauguration of the 1999 civilian regime, civilian establishment, there has been no ratification. So all the things we are doing, saying we are making alterations, we are just altering a decree.
Exactly.
It's basically a decree. And there were so many things in that constitution that were not in the 1960 and 1963 constitutions negotiated. An example is the land use decree. Another example is the idea of putting theocratic provisions in a republican constitution. These are incompatible.
Of course.
A republic is a state, or that is where the power is derived from the people. A theocracy, power is derived from the divine authority, which is not questionable, which cannot be questioned. So it is inconsistent to have theocratic provisions in a republican constitution. And when the then governor of Zamfara State declared Sharia in 1999, he referred to the section of the Constitution that gave provision for theocratic laws. And 12 northern states followed suit. We have 12 states in northern Nigeria that enacted laws passed by their parliaments and signed by the governors into law, importing theocratic administration, theocratic programs into democratic system of government. And when this happened, this was the genesis of some citizens who were faithful to their religion, demanding that their religion should be totally theocratic. And we are blaming the founders of Boko Haram, but they were actually implementing the policies of the politicians who had established theocratic systems. They were only saying, why go halfway? Let us go full way. And according to their own ideology, they believe that anybody that does not believe with them or agree with them, that God has given them authority to eliminate that person. So if we accept the principle of democracy and republicanism, all these things will not arise. But due to the selfishness of the politicians, they want to get the best of both worlds. They want to use religion to get political leverage in a democratic system. They now lure innocent people to say religion is the path in a democratic system. There is no society in the world that does not have religion. Any individual, I believe, that does not think about where he's coming from, where he's going to, how he came about, I think we'll question that person's rationality. So religion is as the heart of human existence. But it should not be a state affair. The state has no religious competence to dictate. Exactly. That's the problem we're having. Individuals have their own religion, go to church. But when you now come to say that we must, the religion of the individual must become the religion of the state, or that Nigeria is a religious country, that's why we have a problem. So there is no clarity of thinking, or people deliberately import irrelevant ideas into a democratic system to foster their private benefit.
It's quite unfortunate.
So that's where we stand. There is no ideological orientation. And when we talk of political parties, from the point of view of political scientists, a political party is made up of a group of people who subscribe to a particular ideology or way of thinking of how society should be run. Now, a political party engages in political education of its members to understand its own ideology or thinking. A political party not only aggregates the society to adopt a particular policy, and when they come into power, they promise to implement the policies they have adopted. Can you imagine the APC when it came into power in 1999? They promised all the things they didn't do anyone. They didn't do anyone.
That's the PDP.
APC in 1999. I mean, sorry,
PDP,
2015.
2015, exactly.
Sorry, 2015.
2015, yeah.
That was another watershed. APC having mastered all the negative practices of the PDP.
Most of the members of APC are former members.
Took it to another level. So, as a matter of fact, well, let me tell you, if you put down the characteristics of a political party on this side, and you measure it side by side with APC and PDP, they will not qualify to be called political parties. Sure. They are just instruments to acquire political power, and that's what they are.
That's what they are. Mary, are you with us? Please, I think Mary should be with us. Okay, when Mary comes back, she should be joining us so that she has some questions. Now, there's something that is bothering me so much. I've listened thoroughly, and I found that you've taken us through historical perspective, but we talked about the 1999 Constitution looking more like a decree than a Constitution.
Decree 24.
Decree 24 of 1999, and they call it the Constitution. And in 2014, the Jonathan administration had an opportunity to rewrite history with the confab. Monies about 1.36, about 7 billion was spent with about 540 Nigerians for about 6 months brainstorming on coming up with the confab resolution. And of course, Jonathan did not have the capacity, or did not desire, did not have the lever. Let me come to a local parlance, the lever to sign that into law. And the Buhari administration killed it completely. And the money spent more or less look like it's gone down the doldrum. But however, looking at it critically, what went wrong and why did we not grab that?
What went wrong? What went wrong?
Yeah.
Is exactly what is wrong with our political system. Jonathan was a nominee of President Olusegun Obasanjo. Olusegun Obasanjo nominated both his principal Yaradua and Jonathan. Without due respect, I respect Jonathan as a human being. He means no harm to anybody. He wanted to be a good person. But intention is never enough. With all due respect, my own understanding is Jonathan, when he entered the presidency, did not understand the country.
Yes.
He did not even understand the problem of the Southeast and the Ijaw nation. Why do I say this? Soon after, you know, Jonathan won the 2011 elections with votes, massive votes from the Southwest. The Southwest supported him because they believed that since Jonathan was an Ijaw that has suffered humiliation and brutality by the federal government since the 1969, when Gowon made what is it called, the Petroleum Decree, 1979, that removed the resources of the Niger Delta to the federal government. The Ijaw and other Niger Delta people have been brutalized by federal forces. So the political leaders in the Southwest in 2011 was believing that Jonathan would implement the most important, the single most important program of the Southwest.
Which was what?
Political restructuring.
Yes.
Now, the first summit, the first economic and political summit that was held soon after the election of Jonathan in 2011, the Yoruba made submission at that summit for political restructuring. Do you know what Jonathan said? Search it on the internet. President Jonathan said that the idea of political restructuring is irrelevant at this time. That all we need is a good leader who will do this, who will implement, what is that thing that Yaradua put out? What is that? Paying people stipends, paying the job people stipends to divert their attention. Yeah. What do they call it? I've forgotten what, but I'll get it. Jonathan did not understand. And Yoruba dumped him at the next election. He prevaricated on the national question. And he said that all is necessary was to implement the amnesty program. Very irrelevant. Amnesty was a fraud. A fraud in the sense that it was meant to divert the attention of Niger Delta youth. Amnesty did not solve the Niger Delta youth, the Niger Delta problem. Paying people stipends that they should drop their guns. So it was towards the end of his presidency that his eyes became open. And belatedly, he convened the national conference. The national conference sat, unlike the Obasanjo conference of 2005 and 2006, that was manipulated. Jonathan was honest. He did not interfere in the conference. But it was so close to the end of his tenure. And not only that, there were some aspects of the program, of the recommendations that he could have implemented. but he was misled into believing that he would get another tenure.
Exactly.
He did not do anything. You know, Jonathan did not do anything for his place. Only one university that he belatedly established in Otoke. And the succeeding administration even wanted to stop it. So Jonathan presidency, Jonathan was in office, but he was not in power.
Exactly, yeah. He was in office, but not in
And
power.
he made no remarkable impact on Niger Delta or even on Nigeria.
Okay.
However, it must be granted to him that he was transparent, relatively very transparent, honesty of purpose, and the election he conducted, he did not interfere. That was granted to him.
That's a good one, Mary. How's Abuja this morning? I can see you've been listening with rapt attention. Mary, can you hear me? We can't. Hello, can you hear us?
I'm sure we're still on there.
Yes. What the sound? Mary, your sound is not coming out. Your sound. Check your sound. We can't hear you yet. Check your sound. Send that message. Okay, Mary, we can't hear you. Your sound isn't coming out. But however, moving forward, we're looking at the critical stage in the life of our democracy in Nigeria. Presently, we have seen a tsunami. I call it political tsunami or political prostitution amongst our politicians. I think I would like to use the word political prostitution amongst our politicians because the level of movement from different political platforms to the APC reeks of irresponsibility, selfishness, and the show of shame. How do you define what has been happening in a polity?
It's because they stand for nothing. They don't stand for principles. They don't stand for ideals. I told you that they don't qualify to be called political parties. Their objectives are the same. Using the state and using the party as an instrument to serve themselves.
That is the state.
The APC and PDP, the objectives are the same. The reasons that they are given for defecting from their parties do not make sense.
It's a shame because they are saying
That
there's crisis in PDP. Can't you settle the crisis? So if you have crisis in your marriage, you will run away from your wife or run away from your husband to go and marry another wife or another husband because you can't settle. That's a shame. I mean,
at the present time, I'm not a supporter of President Tinubu.
Of course, I'm not.
But I was an admirer of Tinubu. I was a member of the Alliance for Democracy. And I'm aware, I was fully aware because I was a participant of the attempt of President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2003 to destabilize the then Action Congress. Sorry, not Action. The AD, Alliance for Democracy.
Alliance for Democracy.
How he entered, deceived. AD was controlling all the Southwest
states.
And you know, in 1999, he did not win the Southwest. He lost in his ward. He lost in his local government. He lost in his state.
In entire Ogun State.
So in 2003, he was looking for a way to recover. And he thought he could make an arrangement, telling the governor that let them vote for him first, and then he will make sure that they win. But when he came to Lagos State, the governor of Lagos State, then Governor Tinubu, told his colleagues that Obasanjo was deceiving them and refused to cooperate with Obasanjo. What did Obasanjo do? Obasanjo gave instruction to the then Inspector General of Police, Tafa Balogun, to arrest AD leaders in Lagos State prior to the election. Unknown to him, Tinubu had arranged what I may call alternative militia to confront federal forces. Are you hearing me? In other words, it would have taken a bloodbath for Obasanjo to implement that program in Lagos State in 2003. The Lagos State Police Commissioner at that time was one Mr. Young Arebame. Mr. Young Arebame, have you seen the impending disaster in Lagos State in 2003? Telephoned the former chief of general staff, Mike Akigbe, and told him what was going to happen. That if they allow the confrontation to take place, Lagos will be worse than the Operation Wete of 1965 in the Western region, where people were burnt and houses were burnt and so on. And Mike Akigbe phoned Obasanjo and called him and told him the security report. And Obasanjo gave counter instruction that they should not implement it. That's how Tinubu survived. And what I'm saying is available online, according to Mike Akigbe, made this revelation at a Christian retreat, and it was published. In other words, what am I saying? Tinubu was a man of great, courage. Why could the people? Tinubu must be laughing at all these people who are at the campaign.
Of course.
You must be laughing at them. These are puppets.
Well, they really are, from the way they, no shame.
These are puppets. They think that Tinubu will be recognizing them. Tinubu knows what he himself can do. And he has known that these people are not made of that stuff. You'll be laughing at them. He's laughing at them. Somebody who abandoned your party that you have been in 24 years, you come to him and you think Tinubu will recognize you. They will lose out. They will lose out. So, having said that, I've said that the APC and APC is just an upgrading of all the fraud and evil that has been done by the PDP.
Besides, majority of APC members are PDP members.
So we need a new political formation. That there's one. I don't like to quote the Bible in politics, but there's one passage I think in Samuel, 1 Samuel. The children of Eloi are gathering together for their destruction. What these PDP people that are going to APC are doing is they're making Nigerians to know who they really are. That they are men of straw, they are not men of principles. That we should not be taken seriously. And nobody, no reasonable Nigerian should take seriously somebody that you give your mandate, you vote for him, then you carry that mandate and give to another person.
Let's bring it on to BN Delta State. How did you feel when you saw what happened? A full state structure moving from the PDP was not lacking. They were in control.
They were not in control. That's what you don't know.
Okay, in Delta State, they were not in control.
I've given you the history of how the rigging started.
Yes.
PDP survived by
what I mean being in control is the fact that they had the governor, they had the State House of Assembly, they have the 25 local government. So why move from PDP to APC?
Let me tell you.
Good.
During the last local government elections in Delta State, the PDP didn't have the courage to conduct free voting.
No, they can't.
Because they will lose.
They can't.
In my own local government area, they wrote results. They couldn't come out to say, this is ballot paper, come and vote. So when people say PDP is a PDP, Delta State is a PDP, I just laugh. It's because they don't know what has been happening. And let me give you an example. When Uduaghan and I have nothing against individuals, because they are just being used. In 2007, Uduaghan won more than 1 million votes. It's on the record. More than 1 million votes. In 2023, Sheriff Oboriwore won only 360,000 when they used beavers. When they used beavers, they won 363,000. Where is the 1 million?
Exactly. Where are the other?
Where is the 1 million?
And
Did they die?
At this time, it should have been.
It should have been
than
more.
one, because people have.
I am telling you that Delta is not a PDP state. They rely on fraud. And if there is an election in Delta State, neither PDP nor APC will smell it. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
They will smell it. The propaganda, the propaganda stunt that Delta State is a PDP state is not to make the minds of the people to believe that they are done for, that they have no alternative. It is not true.
Exactly. It's a propaganda. I think I agree with you.
It is not true. So what about these people that are, gravitating towards a party that has brought the country to its knees, that has brought the greatest suffering? I told you that the purpose of politics is to bring the greatest happiness or the greatest good to the greatest number. APC has brought the greatest suffering to the greatest number in Nigeria. And yet, you say you are joining them. That shows the stuff of which you are made. So, and people are not joining them. I can assure you of that. The masses are not joining them.
Not at all.
Conduct an election today.
And you'll be shocked.
You'll be shocked.
A free and fair election.
That's an election.
Yes, that's
the idea of an election is one man, one vote.
One vote. But
So what we are calling an election has just been fraud all the way. Sham. So that's the position. So it's just a question of birds of the same, birds of identical plumage, flocking together. PDP and APC. That's what they are. So it is not surprising, and it does not make a difference at all. The only difference it makes to Deltans coming to Delta State is that the number of people they are going to share public money for has increased. Because what they do is just sharing money. That is no campaign. That's no political education. One of the functions of a political party that, as I've told you, is political education of the masses. What do you stand for? How do you improve the society? What are the policies of your party? How do the policies of your party improve the society compared with policies of other political parties? They are not doing that. They only say you take money, you take money. That is no political education. That's no politics. That's corruption. They have corrupted the society. I was somewhere last week, and then they were discussing about moral decline among the youths. They were discussing about disobedience, drug addiction, lack of study. Then I said, well, I'm a teacher, and I know these are the problems. But what I'm going to comment about on this occasion, what I commented on that occasion, I was calling on the mothers and fathers present at that occasion.
Exactly.
You fathers and mothers that are telling your children not to be corrupt, but you will take 5,000 naira and sell the destiny of your children for 4 years. How do you even have the courage to tell your children to be good when you sell their destiny for 5,000 for 4 years? They didn't like me. But that's the question I asked. Parents, educated people, you say you are an officer, you say that this. You are selling your country for pittance. What? Devil cannot be worse than that. Satan, the devil, cannot be worse than that. So I was telling them, come out of your evil ways so that your children can be good. That's what I was telling the parents. So by summary, they have just joined, all these PDP people, leaders, have joined their gang, like the children of Elon, for their own destruction. So that because society will now know who they really are. And the good people will be few, and they will vote for them.
Now let's look at the lack of credible opposition in Nigeria leading on to the 2027 election. Now, looking at this critically, I want you to, during your time in active politics, this is the second year of this regime, and they are not talking about governance. All they are concerned about is re-election 2027, throwing governance to the backstage. We have situational incidences of insecurity, economy, infrastructure, manpower development, but we're not talking about all that. The government at the center are more concerned about people joining them. They have tried their best to see that there's no opposition. I want you to take this lead into the coalition that was formed yesterday, the African Development Congress, ADC. that was formed to fight the grip of the APC on governance.
Thank you very much. I've told you that it did not start today.
Yeah.
I told you how the Delta State government bought opposition parties in 2003.
Exactly.
So it's the same scenario. Now, talking about the ADC, well, I don't know the details about. All I saw on television was that some political heavyweights, such as the former
Vice President.
No, yeah, the former vice president,
the Labour Party presidential candidate.
Yes, the former president of the Senate, former minister, and many others.
Many others. The likes of Tambuwa.
They came together. I even saw.
Secondus.
I even saw. I think I was told that Oyegu, who was former governor of Edo State and former chairman of the PDP,
of the APC,
rather, of APC was there. I think it is good for the country, because I don't think somebody like Oyegu, Odige Oyegu, or somebody like me,
yes,
is coming out because he wants to contest election.
Exactly.
I don't think somebody like David Mack is coming out because he wants to contest election.
Exactly.
With the exception of the former vice president, who may be wanting to contest election. I think most of the people there, I want to believe that they want to midwife a new Nigeria. I want to believe so. My own perception of the APC is that they have not come to govern. Because I don't believe that they are ignorant. They have come to take over government for the purpose of empowering themselves and their group. It's a feudal system. That is a feudal system of feudalism. In a feudal state, the entire society is meant to serve the feudal class. That is the system they operate in. I don't believe that they've come to serve. I cannot believe that the current president, who has put his political pedigree from southwest Nigeria, does not realize that the first thing to do in the country after Buhari was to provide security.
Strange.
2 years. We are still talking about, even talking about Thomas Hada's clash. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe that he's ignorant. And I cannot believe that he does not understand that when you talk of empowerment, you have to start with empowering the population with skills. There is no developed country in the world that can develop without empowering the citizens with skills. That's education. And education starts from the pre-primary to the primary, to the secondary. It does not start from the tertiary. So the symbolic gesture of giving loans is so symbolic. It does not attack the root cause, whereby we have over 18 million children out of school in Nigeria, and you say you want to develop. And even those that are in school, the facilities are in shambles. I cannot believe that they are ignorant. I believe that they are doing exactly what they want to do, namely, that siphon the resources of the government to themselves and try to cover our eyes with propaganda.
That is what is happening, basically. That is what is happening.
And I would like to urge Nigerian youth, understand the meaning of politics. Understand the various ideological systems of government. Which one are the APC, is the APC practicing? Is it conducive to the progress of Nigeria? I am one of those who believe, and I've said it several times, the title progressive attached to the APC is a fraud. Like the 1999 Constitution. A document does not become a constitution merely because you say constitution. A party does not become progressive merely because you answer the name. Progressivism has meaning. It is based on rational planning. Progressivism is antithetic to authoritarianism. Progressivism is humanistic. Humanistic in the sense that it tries to solve basic human problems. Progressivism is engaging, bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. Progressivism empowers the people, encourages what we call inclusivity. The APC is doing none of this and calls itself progressive. So it's a fake title, it's a fake name. And this is one of the problems we have. We identify reality with names. The name should be congruent with the distinct characteristics of what you are defining. If you define a thing and the other thing is not congruent with that definition, they cannot be the same. So I would like to have, Nigerian youths engage in what is called critical thinking. You don't have to think what other people want you to think. You don't have to believe something because a rich man said it or because the argumentum ad verecundiam. You believe it because a big man said it. Reason for yourself. What he's saying, is it rational? Does it make sense? Is it conducive to the objectives that you want to attain? So these are the issues. So when you see people gravitating towards a system that has brought the greatest woes to Nigerians, they identify themselves as who they really are. And they have made it easy for Nigerians, the majority of Nigerians, to make a choice. Because, well, I think it was one of our late professors, forgetting his name, that the key ideas, Professor Claude Ake, the key ideas that define the struggle of Nigerians, of the struggle of the Nigerian masses, is removal of exploitation, right? And egalitarianism. To bring about egalitarianism means equal opportunity for everyone. Not that because you are the son of this, the son of that. Even our own time, I didn't have opportunity for. I'm from a very underprivileged family, but I had my way because there was still merit at that time.
Meritocracy was the norm.
They have killed merit.
They have killed it. They have
in terms of access to education, if you pass your exam, you pass, you go to school. In terms of access to job, you pass your interview, you go to job.
Access that was to political office.
When I was employed at the Nigerian Institute for Social and Economic Research in 1974, I did not know anybody in NISA. But I was employed.
Because you were qualified.
Because they looked at my documents. And merit was still in vogue at that time. You can't do that today. They are selling posts.
Selling employment.
So everything has gone down the drain. And these people have merely shifted to one side so that Nigerians can see where they belong and Nigerians are now better prepared to make a choice.
Mary, how is Abuja? We not heard your voice today. We didn't hear you initially.
Nigerians are now better prepared to make a choice. And this choice is for the Nigerian youth and all those who wish Nigeria well.
Thank you. Mary, can you hear us?
What's happening?
We can't hear you from that end. Your sound isn't coming out. We can't hear you. So unfortunate. I really wanted you to ask Daddy some questions. We really can't hear you from that end. Interestingly, it's been a very, very incisive topic. Now we're looking at the issues, political-based issues. And I'm beginning to wonder if the land can be healed, if our politics can be healed again.
Yes.
And what can be done to heal it.
It takes one good man. Let me tell you. Nobody should lose hope.
A lot of youths have lost hope.
I used to give the example of NAFDAC, the Regulatory Agency for Food and Drugs.
Yeah.
When Professor Kunyele was appointed, of blessed memory, was appointed as Director General of NAFDAC, by Obasanjo, NAFDAC was virtually an agency for signing the debt of millions of Nigerians. NAFDAC was not doing the regulatory thing that it was supposed to do. So people were dying of fake and counterfeit drugs.
Exactly.
And Professor Don Akunyili is from Anambra State, the headquarters of fake and counterfeit drugs, I'm sorry to say. What did she do? She made it plain right from the word go that she was not going to cooperate with the drug bureaus. And those who tried to bribe her, she exposed them, including her, some relatives of hers. And they said, this one who cannot, we will not be able to deal with her. You know, they even wanted to kill her.
Of course. Yeah,
they made the assassination attempt on her life several times. And she reformed NAFDAC. And she had international acclaim for reforming NAFDAC. She did not sack all the heads. They just found that this one cannot compromise evil. If we had a head of the government of Nigeria that will not compromise corruption, that will not compromise standards, as Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, said, if the head is not corrupt, if the wife and the family of the head are not corrupt, you have solved 50% of the problem. And I think I used to respect Nuhu Ribadu. I used to respect him. What did Nuhu Ribadu do? Nuhu Ribadu went against the top dog, the top people in corruption. Nuhu Ribadu said, and I quote him, he said, why do you pursue the person who stole a rat when the person who stole an elephant is dead? You have to start from the top. I used to respect him. Do you know that they made an attempt on the life of Nuhu Ribadu?
Of course.
And he said it, he gave an interview. I believe that if we have a head, if we can have a head that is good, Nigeria will be reformed. People will come out. Look, the land of Nigeria is still there. It has not been stolen. The youths are still there. They are full of energy. The intellect are still there. I can assure you that if there is, look, well, I don't want to accuse anybody, but it is obvious that the rot in the political system pervades the judiciary.
Of course.
It pervades the parliament. It pervades the security system.
It's everywhere.
And that is why some security chiefs have pointed accusing fingers on some of their men. Even the governor of Borno State, Professor Zulum, who is a member of the APC, recently pointed accusing fingers on some members of the security forces as sabotaging the system. What I am telling you is, if we have a good leader to fix the system, you know what is going to happen? There will be revolutionary change.
I believe that.
The Chakwa syndrome will be reversed.
It will. We will not say.
Not only say, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of intellectuals
Start coming back home.
brain power, Nigerian brain power in the diaspora will come back to repair Nigeria. If the brain power in Nigeria, in abroad, comes in, you can't bribe them to vote for you. You can't intimidate them at checkpoints. It will have reverberatory effect on the entire social system. Nigeria only needs, look, I used to tell them, you see your car is there, outside. Can it drive itself? Nigeria needs a kickstart. Nigeria needs a prime motivator in the right direction. You start it, you move. Nigerian engine is still there.
So
it's powerful.
It's a driver that will.
It's the driver that will take us in the right direction. That's what we need.
Well, that's a very good one. If you're just joining us, it's Arise and Shine on SRTV International, live anchoring here from Asaba. Our studios all over the world are being followed. You can follow us on YouTube and, of course, on Instagram and on Facebook. We are there live for you to follow. We're discussing the evolution of political parties in Nigeria. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll look at the papers.
Can I do it?
Yes.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. It's coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week London 2025, celebrating the best of Nigeria, is partnered with Civil Society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria.
Find your sanctuary in the heart of the city. Live the life you deserve in an exquisite apartment. SRTV Luxury Shortlet Apartment, Lagos, is a place where your comfort is rest assured. Welcome to SRTV Shortlet Apartment, part of the prestigious SRTV Real Estate family. Why choose us? Prime location, nestled in the heart of Lagos, close to key attractions, business hubs, and vibrant nightlife. Modern interiors, fully furnished, stylish apartments designed to provide the ultimate comfort. Luxury redefined, vacation perfected. 24/7 security. Enjoy peace of mind with round-the-clock security and CCTV surveillance. Top-notch amenities, high-speed Wi-Fi, smart TV, air conditioning, fully equipped kitchen, and lots more. Perfect for business travelers, family vacations, romantic getaways, special events, and more. Book your stay today and experience Lagos like never before. Call +234 8143 582856 or +447 4388 93190 or email us at realestate@superiorradioandtelevision.com. SRTV Shortlet Apartment, where comfort meets luxury.
All right, so it's good to be back again. If you just joined us, Arise and Shine on SRTV. We expected Abuja to join and London to join back, but we know that the Chris probably is much available right now. But Abuja, Mary, I don't know if you could join us. We're going straight to paper review. And incidentally, all the papers are saying the same thing this morning. It's all about the takeover of the ADC by the big wigs, political big wigs that are left, that did not join the PDP or the APC. And of course, I'll just take the headlines on the major papers from the Nigerian Tribune. It's PDP, APC big wigs take over ADC. Yes, PDP, APC big wigs take over ADC. And of course, as the party emerges, coalition choice, Mark, former Senate President Aregbesola, named as chairman and secretary, Oyegun, and of course, the CPC, caucus in APC, they all have joined the ADC. Let's see how that is going to take us. And of course, let me just take the same headline on the Vanguard. 2027, Atiku, Obi, Amici, El-Rufai, others take over ADC. Quite an interesting one, no doubt. And of course, the same from the Daily Trust, it said coalition adopts ADC. And of course, from the Guardian, it's looking the same thing as well. Anxiety over PDP's future as ADC excites aggrieved politicians. And finally, the Daily Times says, why we chose ADC to fight Tinubu's civilian dictatorship. You've seen all the headlines. I want to pick out some. Now, look at anxiety from the Guardian. There's an anxiety over PDP's future as ADC excites aggrieved politicians. Now, the PDP have a fundamental problem. Nyesom Wike is in both APC and PDP. And there has been a major albatross in the wheel of progress, clogging the wheel of progress for the PDP. And now some key players in the PDP have formed a faction and have gone to the ADC. What does it portend for PDP and the new ADC?
Well, thank you very much. The problem of the PDP did not start overnight. It had its roots in the type of politics they were playing already.
Okay.
It only the selfish politics, the manipulative politics that the PDP have been playing all these years. I gave you the example of how PDP was nominating candidates for AD and AP in 2003.
Even a coach party in Delta State. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Our vote accordingly or something like that. Vote accordingly. Now, so if I look at the history and trajectory of the PDP, I don't feel sorry for the PDP. I believe they are reaping what they sowed. But I believe that if a leadership, they can bring out a leadership, because PDP, give it to them. They have branches and what are not resources, assets in all local government areas in the country, and membership in all local government areas in the country. So if they can find a way to have a leader that can re-inspire and re-energize the party to breathe a new lease of life into them, they may make impact. So as far as I'm concerned, unless the person who is holding them by the jugular is able to continue holding them, that they cannot field candidates. But if they can field effective candidates, they can make an impact.
They can make an impact.
I believe that.
But what about for the ADC?
That's what I'm coming to.
Okay.
So given the APC that is already there, and given the possibility that PDP can be revived if they have the right leadership, the right philosophy and the right message and the right candidate, then we already have two. Then the ADC needs to be very careful in the way they go about the activities in the next few weeks. Just like what is happening in the APC, that is overloaded.
Exactly.
At the top heavy. You have so many ambitious people at the top, which is most likely to implode. There's what we call, when a group exists to achieve a particular purpose, they can either work in cooperation or synergy. Yeah. There's what we call anti-synergism. Anti-synergism is whereby a group is working against itself.
That's it.
Such a group is likely to collapse. I foresee anti-synergism in the APC.
In the APC, yes. In the APC, I think a lot of people have said so.
So what I'm advising the leadership, the new leadership of the ADC, is to see if they can show patriotism and nominate the best among them. And when they want to do primaries for the local government, for the state congresses, to form the party, that is a critical point. If they allow one money bag to buy the structure of the party,
they're in trouble.
They will be in trouble, because that money bag will make sure that he gets himself nominated. But if they don't do what the PDP has been doing, imposing candidates, if they allow the grassroots to nominate, to have congresses, because I personally believe that since the ADC has just come alive,
Exactly.
and they allow fresh blood, they allow hundreds and thousands of youths, vibrant and patriotic youths, to join the party. There is no way this old breed can come up to control the party at local, state, and state congresses, and there's no way they can come up to nominate the candidates that are not of their type.
Exactly.
They will nominate candidates that of their like Mr. Peter Obi told the youth many years ago, even before this problem started. He told the youth, take back your country.
Exactly.
This is an opportunity for the youths. I don't believe that the youths have an opportunity in APC. They don't. I don't believe that they have an opportunity in PDP.
Yes.
They have an opportunity in this new political formation. And they should heed the counsel of Mr. Peter Obi. And that is assuming that Mr. Peter Obi joins this party.
Exactly.
Because we are not sure that he has joined the party. But if Mr. Peter Obi joins the party, and the obedient movement, that is the powerhouse of the Labour Party, and the platform on which he garnered over 6 million votes that were accredited to him in 2023, I see the ADC turning the country to his side in 2027. And that will be the beginning of a new Nigeria.
Amen. That will be the beginning of a new Nigeria. Hopefully, says our senior citizen Chris Biose, who has been very wonderful today. I mean, I think we've come to the climax. It's been close to almost 1 hour 30 minutes of incisive, informative, educative, and retrospective program. It's been something that's really educated a lot of us. And when you look at what our senior citizen has told us today, history cannot be far from it. I want to thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
I hope when we call you again, you shall oblige us to come to the studio.
Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate you.
All right. To our viewers, wherever you're watching from in the world, thanks for joining the program. And I'm sure going to be on this dial tomorrow. You have a wonderful day.
Nigeria Week London 2025. It's time to celebrate the pulse of Africa's most exciting nation. It's coming to Hippodrome Theatre from July 24th to 26, 2025, showcasing the best in Nigerian arts, music, fashion, and investment opportunities. Whether you're looking to discover the future of real estate, explore Nigeria's culinary masterpieces, or get immersed in an electric Afrobeat performance, this is the event of the year. You can also join us for a film festival, cultural dance spectacles, and the recognition awards. Don't miss out on the business opportunities and cultural experiences waiting for you. Book your tickets now before they're gone on eventbrite.co.uk. Call or text +447 438 893 190 or 080 330 46768 or +447 459 071 747. Visit our website superiorradioandtelevision.com. Nigeria Week